For this example, we're going to talk about how to set up a spreadsheet so that we can do cell naming so that it's just a little bit easier to talk about individual cells as opposed to having to remember what row and cell they're in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up into cell 1, row 1, cell 1, and I'm going to put a capital X there. And I'm going to go ahead and center that just so that it looks a little nicer, because we're trying to make things as nice as possible. And let's say I want to over here put in cell row 2 column 1, I want to put a 2 as a possible answer or a number for that X value. So here I am, I've got this 2 in that I want to use for X. So what I can do, rather than having to later on refer to it when I want to use formulas as a value in row 2 cell 1, what I can do is go up here into the cell naming place, cell naming portion of my ribbon, and put in a capital X. And so now what happens is this cell contains the information that is in that we want to call X. So over here, let's say I want to type in a formula such that I do something like equals x squared plus 2, or let's do minus 4. Let's do minus 4, something like that. And so if I want to have an x squared minus 2, I can just use a formula that uses that x just as it is. So I don't have to use my formula or my R2C1 kind of information. So I'm going to go ahead and say equals x caret 2 minus 4, and let's see what happens. Did you notice as I typed the x it went blue, and it went over here and it found that 2, which is in the x, or what we named the cell as X. So if I hit an enter, I've got a 0. And so now I can go up here and play around with, let me first of all center this guy, and then let me put in like a bunch of different values like -9, 4, all sorts of things. And so the last thing I'm going to do is center this. So again, just to summarize, what we did is in our cell R2C1, we called the information in that cell X, so that later on over here when we were in row 3, column 3, we could use for our formula, and I'll go ahead and click on this, double click on this so you can see, we went ahead and plugged in an X as opposed to row 2, column 1. So that just makes our life just a little bit easier. So that ends this video, and the next couple videos we're going to talk about goal, seek, and solver.